So the New York Times and Washington Post, they shared the Pulitzer Prize award for reporting on the Trump-Russia collusion, which has since been debunked as false partisan narrative by congressional investigations, along with the probe by special counsel Robert Mueller, who said there was no collusion. So that's that. The New York Times, as you mentioned, they put a lot of resources into these 18 pieces. Then they started making claims, as you said, that the Jewish schools are scamming the state out of money. Those are very strong claims. But did they provide evidence like financial documents in the form of spreadsheets? I didn't see any of it. According to their reporting, all I saw was in our reporting, in our investigation, and then they just laid out some numbers.
Yeah, they didn't substantiate these charges. This is all out in the open. I think they treat any aid that the state gives to private or religious schools as a priori illegitimate, even though the Supreme Court, courts up and down the country, all rule that whether it's Jewish schools, Christian schools, private schools, things like buses and school books, which are for secular purposes, are allowed. But they try to demonize this, and they've tried to demonize their use of getting, aid for special education, to which these children are entitled. Now, also one of the things I found about this series, and it's sort of part of the problem with so much of the secular and mainstream corporate journalism today, is that agenda journalism always leads to unethical journalism. Now, one of the things that researchers who have gone into this report have found is that one of the cases where they claimed that an anonymous parent said that their child was being wrongly labeled as autistic so that the school would get aid, this person had also been used, was not anonymous. In another article, this person was a named source and actually an activist against the schools because they pulled their kids out and they sort of left the Hasidic community. They were, against it. So this is unethical journalism. This is a clear mistake, and it should disqualify it certainly from Pulitzer, consideration. But more than that, these kinds of mistakes, and there's a full report that has been put out, which I link in my article to, 30 pages of mistakes and ethical transgressions. It's not a question of who cares whether they get a Pulitzer? Do people outside of the New York Times care about the Pulitzers that the New York Times wins? No. The question is, are they delegitimizing a community using their huge platform with tremendous influence and tremendous political influence in New York to treat people who are members of a religious minority in a way that they would not dare to treat any other minority?
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.